Hi, I'm Jarrad Brown, Australian expat financial planner based here in Singapore. Welcome to my video series. Thank you for tuning in. Today, I'm going to share with you my top personal finance tips for those in their 30s. Now, for most of us, as soon as you hit 30, that's the time you start to take your money seriously. You look back on the 20s, the parties, the travel, the fun, the friends, whatever you got up to. Maybe you remember all of it, maybe it's all a little bit hazy. But 30 is often the time we start to think seriously about our careers, about our money, and about how we're going to truly get ahead. So today I thought I'd share with you my top tips. I hope you find them helpful. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe, like, drop a note in the comments. Let's get started. Now, my first tip for you is to set up a savings and investment vehicle as soon as possible. Now, if you did this in your 20s, fantastic. If you haven't, it's time to get started. A portion of your income that can be saved, invested in a manner that suits your risk profile, that suits your own personal circumstances. That way you can build your wealth quite quickly, try and be aggressive with your savings, and that way you'll find that out of sight, out of mind strategy pays off for you in the long run. Whether that goes into superannuation or an index fund or exchange traded fund, whatever it may be, automate it and make sure that it's happening regularly. My second tip for you is to ensure that you review the employment benefits or investment options that your employer offers. A lot of employers that we see, particularly in Singapore and other expat destinations, is that employers will offer their staff, their employees, the option to participate in share purchase plans. That might mean discounts on shares, it might be bonus allocations, it might be some sort of matching scheme. Chances are it's going to be quite attractive for you. That will allow you to accelerate your wealth accumulation and accelerate the achievement of your financial goals. Now here it's obviously important to make sure that you don't end up with all of your eggs in that one basket, your salary, your bonus, all of your investments, but it can be a great way to accelerate your wealth. Now, often for many, their 30s is the time that they're starting a family, getting married, starting to settle down, as it were. So tips 3 and 4 are very much related to those people. The first one is to make sure that you protect your loved ones. Now here I'm talking about life insurance, disability cover, trauma insurance, income protection if it suits. Make sure that you have the right things in place. Make sure you think through those horrible scenarios. It's certainly not the happiest of topics, but it's a very important discussion to have, particularly with your significant other. Now, if it's just yourself, you're not looking to start a family, you're not in a serious relationship, then don't simply ignore insurance. Because here you might want to think about disability cover, about income protection, about those other covers, assuming that you're still around. And tip number 4, again relating to people in their 30s looking to start a family, or even if you're not, is to update, or in many cases, go and get a will drafted by a lawyer. Don't rely on the DIY kits online. If you do, I would certainly recommend getting them checked, get some professional advice here, but make sure that your wishes are reflected. Often in our 30s is the time we're starting to accumulate some real wealth. Now is the time to make sure your wishes would be carried out by having an appropriate will in place. My 5th tip for you is to consider your retirement or financial independence goals. Many people make the mistake that their superannuation or pension contributions are going to be enough to achieve their own retirement goals. But the issue here is that if you do what everyone else does, you will get what everyone else is given. And that may not actually achieve the retirement or financial independence lifestyle that you're after. So consider your own goals, consider your financial situation, where you might want to be in future. Do you want to retire young on the beach? Are you looking to work into your 70s? Whatever it may be, make sure that your savings and investment strategy is aligned to your retirement goals. My 6th tip for you is to get rid of those bad debts. Afterpay, Zip Pay, all of these buy now, pay later programs, get rid of them. If you have outstanding balances that are charging you fees, if you have credit cards with large balances, get rid of them, pay them down. Don't pay unnecessary interest. If you have store cards, personal loans, whatever it may be, now that you're starting to save some real money, start getting rid of that, because often they often come with very high interest rates and that's going to naturally be quite destructive to our wealth accumulation plans. My 7th tip for you is to consider your emergency fund. Now, often, and I'm stereotyping a little bit, the 30s is the time that most people are living by themselves. You might be in your own home, you might be renting. If you did this in your 20s, that's great. But often, once you move out, once you have your own bills, your own mortgage, your own rent to pay, you're going to need a bit more money in your emergency fund, unless you can quite simply move back in with mum and dad. So here you're going to want to consider what your monthly expenses look like and make sure you've got 3, 6, 12 months expenses in the bank account, not invested, just in your everyday access account so that you can draw on if emergency hits. My 8th tip, and a little bit self-serving, is to stay informed financially. So subscribe to some great YouTube channels, follow some blogs, check out as much information that is going to help you to make smarter financial choices and avoid the scams online. From Ponzi schemes to all sorts of trading schemes, there's so much garbage out there, often promising the world and failing to deliver. So make sure that you know how to assess what's right for you, seek professional advice, read as much as you can, and as I said, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hopefully there'll be a lot more useful content here for you to ensure that you make smarter decisions going forward. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you have something you'd like to add, drop a note in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or topic for a future video, again, shoot me a note. We'll be happy to cover it. Thank you for tuning in and see you next time.